Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher. Welcome to episode 10 of my floral series for 2025. I have loved this so much, and I hope that you are loving it as well. So what this series is it is a Zentangle inspired series, meaning that we are using Zentangle patterns or tangle patterns, but we are doing them in kind of a non-traditional way. So the first week of tangles, we did 5 different florals, and then we added some beautiful watercolor. Today, we are doing the 5th floral of this week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And each week we are doing it on a 3.5 by 7.5 inch piece of Canson watercolor paper. And if you would like to add watercolor or colored pencil or marker, whatever you would like, then you are free to embellish it in any way that you want. I am doing watercolor, and if you were able to purchase one of my kits, it came with, let me find mine, this cute little set of watercolor paint. And this is what we are using for this, but it's just a basic red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So use anything that you have to add color, or if you prefer to keep it black and white, then of course, please keep it black and white. All right, so since today is the last day of the week, we are going to do our tangle here. And then we're going to do some embellishing on different parts of our tile to kind of finish it off. All right. So again, I have my 3.5 inch by 7.5 inch piece of watercolor paper. I have an eraser inside my cute little tin, a micron bleed proof pen. The Sakura micron pens are bleed proof. And I have a pencil and a blending tool. All right. I'm also using my cute little sketchbook. Here it is. Okay, so this is just a very inexpensive little sketchbook. I wrote 2025 florals, and this is what we are using each day to practice our tangles and just collect all of these fun little patterns that we're making. Please feel free to use as many pages in the book as you want for extra practice. Okay. All right, day 9, day 10. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna grab my pen. Day 10. So for some reason, I always just feel like doing fancy lettering at the top. I don't know why. I don't know if I'll keep it up for 20 days. But let's do lowercase today. Let's do really wide. Day 10, let's do a little wiggly line. Let's turn this one into a flower. Cute. Put a little leafy pattern on there. That's probably good enough. Okay, day 10, or episode 10. All right, I'm going to show you kind of one sort of big pattern today, one little embellishment pattern, and then just a little doodle. So we're doing 3 things today. All right, our tangle for the day is Funbee by Bet Winkler, a CZT. Okay, so to make this one, we're going to start very similar to a couple of other patterns that we've already made this month, and that is with that kind of a V-shape curl. All right, so I'm going to start with a stem, but then I'm going to do this little V-shaped curl. I'm going to come up here and go out and curl and out and curl. They probably don't need to curl that much. It can just be more like that, actually. They both work. Just want to show you. Okay, then we're going to put on this big rounded top. So I'm going to go from the outside edge here and curve over to the outside edge there. And same thing here. It's almost like a little umbrella. For the center, she does these little, very, very thin lines that come from the bottom middle and sort of fan their way up. She also does it where she goes so light on her pen that she lifts her pen and gives it these little shimmers or sparkles. So I'm going to go up, lift my pen a little, and keep going. See how that just changes it up a little bit. And that is Funbee. It's so cute, right? It's such an easy one to make. But again, like some of our other ones, there's so many fun ways to embellish it. And also, when I was thinking about having this dangle page where I have a line and things coming down, I thought this would be an easier one to have hang down. So I'm just going to give myself a little swirl here, and I'm going to practice making them upside down. All right, I'm going to give a line. And instead of doing an upwards V, we're going to make sort of this mountain shape. So you can go like, let me see, I say mountain, but I kind of want to come down and swoop and down and swoop. So it's kind of like a mountain. Then after I swoop, I can give a little curl and then some dots. I'll do another one. I'm going to come down here, give a little swirl this way, come down, and a swirl this way. So I like to follow my line. If I am going up, I make a stem, and then instead of going straight and straight, I like to follow that line and then just smoothly take it off. So same thing with going down. Instead of going out and out, I want to go down and then smoothly curl it. Go down and smoothly curl it. I'll do another one. This one I'm going to let just kind of sway a little bit. And then go down and give a little curl. All right, let's see how these turn out. Instead of doing a bump up, I'm doing like the letter U, a bump down. So I'm going to go from there to there, there to there. Don't they look like they're just sort of swaying in the wind? Swaying in the breeze. Could put in some lines. One of the embellishments that she showed was then to do these little hovering petals that don't quite touch until you get to the beginning and end. Look how pretty. Another one she did just had little dots on the outer edge. You could also play with the inside. You could fill it with maybe a grid pattern. You could fill it with some orbs. You could do some different striping. I don't know. I just made that up. But so many fun things that you could do with this shape. Put some orbs out here. Literally just making this up as I go. But that looks cute. So go ahead and take a moment to play. And then of course you can always add some little like embellishments off the sides of these. On hers, she does these cute little swooping leaves. You could add dots. Okay, that is Funbee. Then I'm going to do two more things. So I'm just going to go to the next page. All right, so this is another pattern. It is called Dewdrops. This is going to be used as kind of a filler today. We're going to go in between some of the flowers wherever we think there needs to be a little bit more. And I'm not going to pronounce this name because I feel like I will do it incorrectly. Dewdrops. Okay, so for this one, let me zoom in a little bit. All right, for this one, we start with a slight curved line. And then we add these pointy little ovals that sort of face upwards from the stem. So it's going to be a curve and a curve like that, and we ink it in. Really small, really tiny. Curve, curve. I'm alternating sides. And then we simply take the end of each one and we do another curve, but it's going to go from the point and it's going to end down the stem a little bit, like that. Up here from the point, down the stem. It's so simple and so organic. I just love it. You could have them growing off of each other. Dewdrops. Okay. The last thing we're going to do is just some more embellishments, and so I think I'm going to go back to the front of the book for that. So I had that page in the beginning. Accents and embellishments. Okay, so we have the cute little butterflies, we have the dragonflies, the ladybugs, and I just want to add that cute leaf that we made yesterday, where we start almost like a raindrop or a teardrop, but then we curl around. And then we come down the other side, come below it, and then connect it. So I wanted to add that to our embellishment page. I also want to add tipple or little orbs. So just adding little circles and maybe inking in those areas in between them. It's such a pretty, like, organic type element in a garden, or I don't know, with anything organic, I guess. Just adding these little orbs can really fill a space and add some interest. You can even add some little curves on them if you'd like. So we're going to add some of those today. Okay, and let's add, I feel like I should have had more pages for these embellishments. Let's add another one. This is actually a little pattern called Dot Ball by Barbara Duell Johnson, CZT, and friend of mine. Okay, I love calling you a friend, Barbara. All right, Barbara Duell Johnson, and all this one is a little dot, and then a dot on top and the bottom, 2 on each side, and you have a little dot ball. That's it. Very, very simple, but a great way if you have a bunch of space in between tangles, you can add this little dot ball and it looks adorable. Okay, so I just wanted to show you a few of those, and of course, Funbee. All right, let's get going. Keep your book close by. Look at our garden. I think it looks so great. Okay, so Funbee, I need to fill in this area here with Funbee. And so I just sort of need to plan out, you know, how many I want to do, how large or how small I want to do them. If you have a lot of space, you can even add one of these. What was that one called? That was called Hannery. You could add Hannery over here to kind of balance out the two sides, and then add some Funbee around it. Okay, lots of options. But I think I'm just going to do Funbee and see how it goes. That's my plan. All right, I'm going to take my pencil though, and I want to sort of sketch out where I want these and about how big I want them. So I definitely want one up here in this space. And I want one down here that's a little bit larger. Probably one over there. I know you can't really see those, sorry. Just to give myself an idea of where I want them to go. And I'm gonna have mine coming straight down. This one I might do a little sway, I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna have my line come straight down to that little ball. And remember, it's gonna swoop out and swoop out. Swoop out this way, give it a little dot. Swoop out this way, give it a little dot. And put on that curve. Do one coming down here. Give this one more of a curl. Just kind of want both sides to match whatever style you do. And give that one that rounded bottom. And I think I'm going to have this one come straight down as well. I just feel like if I curve it, it's not going to match any other ones, so it's going to come straight down as well. Curl to the side, curl to the side. Put on that bottom curve. Let your ink dry for a moment, and then erase those pencil marks. All right, this first one over here, I'm going to start with that straight center line, and then I'm going to curve. It's up to you how many you want to put in. For this one, I'm going to do the broken line. And this one, I'm going to do the solid line. For this larger one down here, I'm going to do that hovering petals. So I don't know the correct term, but that's what I'm calling it. So I'm going to jump up and give these little bumps, but I'm not going to touch the round part. Of course you can. It doesn't matter, but I just want to try that. And then I'm going to add the little dots underneath each one. On this one over here, I'm going to do the dots, but I'm going to let them hover. So basically like an aura of dots. I do the same thing on this one just because I like that little bit of texture. How are you feeling about yours? I love them, and then I just think, oh, they look so flat. Like I can't wait to add some shading to them. All right, let's do some embellishments on these. I'm gonna give some of them a little curl that just sort of matches the curl we had going at the start of it. Could do some little sweeping leaves. Or you could do some dots coming down like we did on our previous tangle. Okay. So much fun. All right, let's take about 5 minutes and add some more things, and then we'll do some shading. Okay, so when I look at mine, it looks pretty even. I've got lots of beautiful florals in there. I have kind of a big space right here. So I'm trying to decide if I should just put in like a little beautifly, you know, one of the little butterflies, or a dragonfly, or if I should do another dangle coming down and maybe do a Funbee or a miniature one of the one from yesterday, or another one of these little tulip ones. And I'm just trying to decide, but I've got kind of a big spot here, and I have a long stretch where I have nothing hanging down. So I'm gonna do a Funbee. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, so I'm gonna have a line coming down. And I'm going to curl it out and curl it out. I love that it touches another tangle. Maybe you have a spot that could use a little more love. I'm going to do those hovering petals with the dots. And I'm going to do a combination of dots and little leaves going up. Just whatever fits, wherever it fits. I feel like I want that to have a little bit more to it, so I'm going to add an aura to these little bumps. Okay, now it just feels a little bit larger to me. Okay, I've got some space down here in this corner, so I'm going to add a dragonfly. Oh, look at that, space is filled up. And let's do a few things up on top and then we can go back in and fill in. So up here is something that people call toppers. Specifically, oh goodness, now I'm drawing a blank on her name, but she has beautiful books. I've listed one or two of them in the description of this video, but she really talks about the names of all the different parts of a dangle. And she calls these the toppers, the things that kind of grow out of the top. So I thought it'd be fun to do a little Funbee over here because we learned that today. So I'm going to put a tiny stem and I'm going to curl out and give it a rounded top. And I'll give it some dots. Also give it some little leaves. Right here I have some space, and so I was thinking it would be fun to do joyful that we did yesterday, but like in half. So what if I put a little bump and I fill in that little bump, and I'm going to give it an aura just because I like that separation. Then I'm going to do a straight line out, out, out. It's going to look kind of like henna drum. But then I can do these little curves of joyful, and then I can do tethered auras where I give it a little more of a bump. And the lines and dots inside that vary in size. That fit in there so well. You could always add a little squiggle coming off the sides. I love taking elements of things that we have already drawn. So over here, what was that one called? I'm already forgetting because we've made so many. Petalus. And I love the element of this V with the line and the dots. So up here, what if I make a V with dots and I put in a taller line with a dot? And I could do one here. And if you want it to be a little bit softer, you could add a little curl. All right, I love that little leaf we made yesterday. So I'm gonna add one of those over here. So just kind of that teardrop shape with a curl and down and around. Just sitting on top of there. Over here, my line just kind of ends. So we've got some options. We can put a little black dot and make a cute floral. We could end it in a curl or a couple of curls. That would be cute. But I think I want to end mine just as a leaf. No, that's not true. You know what I want to do? I want to do dewdrops at the end. And maybe I'll put some over on the other side as well. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to extend this out a little bit more. And I'm going to put those tiny pointed little leaves. And then I'm going to go from that point and curve down to the stem, down to the stem. What a pretty organic ending. All right, I've got this big spiral over here. There's so many things you can do in this, but I think we should just make it like dewdrops. So you can decide how far up you want to go, how many you want to do. Remember, it's just a curve, stop, curve, stop, curve, curve. And then we go down the stem, down the stem. And maybe on the rest of this, I'll just do some little dots like this. And I'm going to end it in a curly Q with a dot. If you have other spots along your pen line, put in a little dewdrop. Look at that. Do one over here. They can face different directions. Nobody knows what they're meant to be or what they're meant to look like. Look at how that just fills in space. My other most favorite embellishment that I use all the time, in fact, I'm going to put it in the book. This is such an easy one, but it's just a loop and a loop. Sometimes I double them for interest. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I use that. I have space down here. I could do a loop and then double it. Could do it here, loop, loop, double it. I could do it off the side of a line. So where do I have a line that needs something? Mine is so full and so busy right now. I'm gonna do it coming down from here. Loop, loop. down from here, loop, loop. I like them doubled. I don't know why. I'm going to go back and double those. Do some more on the sides, just filling in some space. Up here, I've got some space. Okay, so I showed you guys on here like a ladybug, a dragonfly, some little orbs, and the dot ball. So I'm going to add a ladybug. Anywhere you have a spot. You don't have to do a ladybug, but you can. So cute. I don't know that I really need orbs or circles, but I'm going to show you anyway. Like if you have a big corner over here, look how cute that is. You can put them near some of your little embellishments. They could sit by themselves or tuck into little areas along your frame. They could be on top of your line or up along the top of your frame, just kind of hanging down, almost like, I was going to say a little drop of dew, and these are called dewdrops, so it's kind of cute. Okay, last thing, dot balls. I really don't have a lot of space that needs to be filled in, but I'm going to do a couple. So I'm going to put one here, a little dot, a dot on top, bottom, 2 on each side. Just added a little bit of texture to the space. Could do one down here. Maybe one over here. You could always put a dot anywhere or up along the side of something. Like I just added 3 dots to this little leaf. Add some dots down here. Okay, my garden is so full. I'm gonna cap my pen. What do you think? What a sweet little masterpiece. I love it. I had a vision for how I wanted this week to go, but I didn't have it all drawn out. And I was so happy with last week's and just how everything got spaced out so well and embellished so well. And I didn't know how the dangle would go, but I'm in love with it. One more thing I want to say real quick. On these dangles, if you have a big space that's empty, which I don't, but if you did, you could just draw a straight line down, end it in a cute little heart or a little dot, you know, add some other lines close to some or far apart from some, but there's always ways to fill in a dangle. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of shading. And then we're gonna put this away for a moment. And the next video is going to be adding some watercolor, which it might feel a little overwhelming because there's a lot going on in this one, but we're gonna treat it very similar to how we did last week's, where we're just gonna add some color to the flowers and just play a little bit. Okay, I'm going to add shading to Funbee, and I'm going to do that by putting graphite in that little V shape and also up along the top edge just a little bit in that V shape, and then up along, I say up, it's kind of down, I guess, but along that outer edge, the inside of the outer edge. In the V, inside the outer edge, Take my blending tool, push and pull that out, and then soften that top edge a little bit, leaving it nice and white in the middle. Look how pretty and rounded that looks and feels. Always want that white space in the center. And look at those three compared to the one up on top that I didn't do yet. So I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna add a little to the bottom of those leaves. And also joyful over here, I'm gonna go around that center and add a tiny bit at the tips of those petals. Gonna put a little bit in the bottom of this leaf I did over here. And that's it. I'm not gonna do the bug or the dragonfly. I'm just going to leave it. All right. The last thing we need to do is add our initials or our artist chop somewhere. So I'm gonna put mine right over here in the right-hand corner. I feel like I need a little orb over here. I've just got some space. That looks cute. Okay, this one is done. Done, done, done. Okay, the last thing I'm gonna mention, even though I said it was done, is that if you wanted to, you could take your pencil and you could go along the inside edge of the frame and then just kind of soften that and pull it out a little bit into your picture. And it's going to let this kind of branchy frame sort of separate the picture from the outside. Does that make sense? I'm gonna do a little spot so you can see it, but I just don't want to take the time to go all the way around right now. So if I did that and then I just sort of softened it and pulled it down into the picture, look at that little shadow of a frame. Now I want to do it. You guys, why did I do that? Now I want to go around the whole thing. Okay, I'm doing it. You guys can turn off the video if you'd like, or you can stick around while I add this. It's such a problem that I have that I don't ever want to stop. Let me soften that and show you. I'm making sure the graphite does not go into that little frame part. It's been pulling it away from that frame. Oh, it's so pretty. It's kind of like what we did last week with putting that blue on the frame and pulling it down. It's kind of that same thing. I'm putting such a tiny amount. It does not need a lot. Just trying to make sure that my pencil goes right against that edge. Then I'm going around the little bumps and things that I made. But I'm going right over the orbs and leaves because I don't know why, but I am. You just want to make sure you push it out into your image a little bit without it being too stark. Like, you don't want it to start and stop. You want it to sort of be a soft, subtle shadow that starts out deep and then gets lighter. This is so gorgeous. Now I'm just so happy I did this. This piece really wouldn't even need watercolor. Like, it looks amazing in black and white. I'm so grateful to all the artists that create beautiful tangles for us to play with. It's so much fun. Okay, I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I did it, and I think it looks amazing. All right, take a picture of yours and then watch the next video, add some color if you would like, and then take another picture just to see the difference. Thank you so, so, so much for joining me for week 2. We still have week 3 and week 4 coming up. So we're only halfway through the month. So many fun things to come. On Sundays, I do Show and Tell Sunday on my Facebook group called Let's Tangle. So join me there to share your work. You could also follow me on www.minsofzen, MINSOFZEN, if you would like to get the emails. There's a little pop-up that comes up, sign up for my emails, and once a month I email you with what's happening. So thank you, and we'll see you in the watercolor video. Bye-bye.